One night, an officer came home drunk after drinking a whole bottle of wine. He didn't notice when an assassin named Mike snuck into his house. The drunk man saw a watch he wanted and tried to climb on a chair to reach it. However, Mike had anticipated every move the drunk man would make. When the drunk man stood up on the chair, Mike used a rope to strangle him from behind. The man who was hanged didn't understand what had happened. When drunk man asked if he knew who he is, Mike answered coldly and kicked the chair away. "Yes, I know who you are. You're worth $25,000. It seems that Mike is only motivated by money and doesn't care about a person's character. He will take on any mission as long as there is money involved." After completing the assassination, Mike took a photo for proof and left. In another job, Mike was tasked with killing an entire rock band. He entered the venue quietly, disguised as a member of the audience, and enjoyed the performance. He noticed that the band's power supply line was exposed, so he flipped a glass of water onto the equipment. As a result, the band members were electrocuted while performing, and the audience was confused and didn't understand what had happened. After each assassination, Mike would find a way to unwind and relieve stress. He didn't do anything extravagant, just went to a pub. He gave money to 2 security guards to leave. While there, he saw a group of uncivilized thugs harassing a woman. This angered Mike, and he didn't hesitate to come to her aid. He hit the thugs one by one, using his impressive fighting skills to overpower them. The thugs were no match for Mike, and he was able to easily defeat them. Despite his professional fighting and assassination abilities, it's revealed that Mike was once a bullied young man. In a flashback, a group of teenagers are shown chasing and bullying young Mike, forcing him to give up his money. As a newspaper boy, Mike didn't have much money to spare. One day, he caught a middle-aged man breaking into a house with a gas cylinder. The house exploded seconds after the man entered, but he emerged unscathed. Curious, Mike followed him for weeks and discovered that the man was an assassin who received payment for his services and staged everything to appear as an accident. This man was Big Ray. Mike tracked down Big Ray and forced him to teach him the skills of an assassin after bringing out evidence against him. Mike shared that he too had been bullied and wanted to kill the leader but didn't want to end up in jail. Recognizing Mike's determination and natural stealth skills, he saw the potential for Mike to become a professional assassin. It was only a matter of time before Mike would become one. Big Ray showed Mike how to kill the target by making it look like an accident. Mike sneaked into the guy's house when he wasn't there, placed a dollar bill on the antenna, and hid in the blankets. When the guy returned and climbed up to reach for the bill, Mike jumped out and pushed him down, causing him to fall to his death. Although Mike was thrilled with the successful assassination, he knew his skills were still amateur level. Big Ray had captured a photo of him pushing the guy, reminding Mike that he needed more practice if he wanted to become a true professional assassin. Big Ray taught Mike everything he knew, from gun blazing to staging assassinations that looked like accidents, to defense skills. Mike learned from Big Ray as if he was his father. After years of training, Mike had become a top-class assassin in the organization. One day, he was tasked by Milton to assassinate a young accountant named Root, who had been paid twice as much by the client to have him killed as quickly as possible. Without hesitation, Mike accepted the mission and used a pneumatic shotgun with the barrel filled with shards of glass. He closely watched Root, waiting for the right moment when a car was at the right angle. When the car arrived at the right time, he immediately opened fire, shot glass fragments into the tire of the car, causing the tire to deflect. The car turned and hit Root, killing him, looking like an accident. Again, Mike just smirked and walked away, while his brother drove in fear, thinking he had just killed someone. That night, Milton called Mike and told him to go to the street that the client promised to get his pay as a reward for killing Root. Mike did not arrive in time, but was ambushed by another assassin. The amateur assassin tried to use all kinds of martial arts but was defeated by Mike again and again. Despite the amateur assassin's efforts, Mike proved to be far more skilled and easily defeated him in combat. Mike criticized the other assassin for using unsophisticated methods, such as not shooting from a distance or using explosives, instead of employing non-professional tactics. He then proceeded to kill the assassin by suffocating him and breaking his neck. Mike made it look like the assassin died in an accident by placing his head on the sidewalk and positioning his motorcycle next to his body. It appeared as though the assassin lost control and hit his head on the sidewalk step, resulting in his death. After completing this task, Mike returned home and received a call from a woman named Charlie, who informed him that his ex-girlfriend Beth had passed away. Beth, an environmental activist, had caused many factories to shut down due to their harmful impact on the environment. Upon hearing the tragic news, Mike hurried to attend Beth's funeral where he met Charlie. Charlie explained to Mike that two thieves had attacked Beth as they were attempting to steal from her. Unfortunately, Beth stumbled upon them, and the thieves ended up killing her. It was a terrible mistake on their part. The police investigated the crime scene and found fingerprints belonging to the two thieves. However, a few days later, both of them passed away due to a drug overdose. Charlie also disclosed that Beth was pregnant, and the baby was Mike's child. It was a heartbreaking revelation for Mike. Upon hearing this, he decided to visit Beth's former apartment to investigate what really happened. As he stepped inside, he carefully reimagined the crime scene and quickly realized that it was not a random attack but an assassination. Mike had obtained the police investigation file, which revealed that Beth had a certain amount of sleeping pills in her bloodstream. According to the file, she had been treated for a fear of flying, which Mike knew was untrue, as she had never expressed any such fear to him. After analyzing the evidence, Mike came to the conclusion that Beth was drugged and assassinated. The crime scene was staged to make it look like a burglary gone wrong, with the blame placed on two drug addicts whose fingerprints were copied at the scene. However, it was later revealed that the actual murderers were Mick and Mac. Enraged by this revelation, Mike set off to find them and confront them about what they had done. When Mick and Mac saw Mike approaching, they admitted to the crime, explaining that they were given the job and felt that they could do as they pleased since Beth and Mike had already cut ties. However, they were unaware that Beth was pregnant. Despite their dismissive attitude, Mike attacked them, using his impressive assassin skills to overpower the two former Special Forces operatives, which is almost impossible. Mike's attacks were swift and powerful, thanks to his extensive training and experience as an assassin. He quickly dispatched Mac with a forceful elbow strike and throw, while simultaneously punching Mick in the stomach and face. With Mick stunned, Mike landed a spectacular 360 midair kick to his face, taking him down as well. Mike then approached Charlie for more information about Beth's assassination. Charlie informed Mike that Beth had a hard drive containing important information, with a backup copy at her parents' house. However, their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a bearded assassin, who had been sent to kill Charlie. The bearded man was known for his hot temper, and he began to attack without any regard for his own safety. While Charlie attempted to defend herself by stabbing the bearded assassin in the shoulder, he was able to overpower her due to his brute strength. As he prepared to strike Mike with his knife, he stumbled and fell onto an axe, which caused fatal injuries. In his dying moments, the bearded man revealed that Milton had hired him to kill Charlie. Mike instructed Charlie to retrieve the hard drive from Beth's parents' house and contact him once she had it. Meanwhile, Mike went to confront Milton and demand to know who had ordered the assassinations of Charlie and Beth. Milton eventually revealed that it was an accountant named Kent. Mike arranged to meet Charlie once again after she had retrieved the hard drive from Beth's parents' house. Charlie revealed that Beth, being an environmentalist, had been investigating an Indian oil company called Vancap. Initially, Vancap was not granted permission to drill for oil, but the company's director bribed the government to obtain drilling rights in the sea. Beth was tipped off by an accountant within the company named Root. Interestingly, it was the same accountant that Mike had previously eliminated. Root had a colleague named Kent, who was likely behind the orders to have Beth and Charlie assassinated. This man found out that Root told Beth about bribes. The boss of the company heard this and asked Kent to find and kill the person who did it. Kent asked Milton to find someone to do the job and secretly recorded their conversation. Kent then gave the recording to Mike. But just then, Mick and Mac arrived. Big Ray saw that Mike was causing problems and ordered all the assassins to attack him. So, Mick and Mac started shooting with their guns. After getting punched in the jaw, Mac had to wear a brace. He was very angry and threw a grenade at Mike. But then Mike did a cool move and kicked the grenade back at Mac. The explosion made Mick and Mac stunned. Mike took this chance to take control of Mac's gun. But then Mick accidentally shot Mac while Mike was using him as a shield. It's kind of like when my friend messes up in video games. Mike then sprayed Mick with a fire extinguisher, which made him faint. Meanwhile, outside, a sneaky assassin tried to attack Mike by covering his nose with a poison towel. But Mike was smart and held his breath. The assassin then tried to stab Mike with a knife, but Mike was able to fight back and ended up pushing the assassin down the stairs. Finally, Mike met Fred, who was an easy target. Fred had some tools in his pocket, but they were useless. Mike punched Fred and knocked him out too. Before leaving, Mike found a poisonous bandage in Fred's pocket. He took it casually and left. From there, Mike went to meet the director of Vancap Company, where he encountered a female assassin who was an expert in using a katana sword. She was there to protect the old director, sent by Big Ray. At first, it was a tough fight as she was very agile and just as skilled as Mike. However, due to her weaker strength, Mike was able to push her over through a door. During the fight, the director threw the sword to the female assassin. She started slashing wildly at Mike, but he was able to dodge her attacks. Mike tried using a lamp and then a suitcase as weapons, but neither worked. The female assassin sliced the suitcase in half. After the female assassin made a careless slash, Mike saw an opportunity and counterattacked, stealing her sword and stabbing her with it. Lucky for him, he survived once again. Mike then confronted the director who tried to bribe him with money, but Mike refused. Instead, he slashed the head off of this Indian guy. Mike went back to Big Ray and played the recording he had. It revealed that Kent had followed the director's orders and hired Milton to eliminate 3 people: Root, Mike's ex-girlfriend Beth, and Charlie. This made Big Ray very angry. The director's plan was to hire a single assassin to eliminate Root, Beth, and Charlie. After that, they would also eliminate the assassin to cover their tracks. They offered to pay 3 times the usual amount for this job. Milton, who was greedy for money, chose Mike to kill Root first. But since he knew that Mike wouldn't kill Beth, he sent a young assassin to take Mike out. Then he assigned the task of killing Beth and Charlie to other assassins. Of course, it was a foolish move by Milton to hire inexperienced assassins to kill a professional like Mike and his girlfriend. When everything was revealed, Big Ray was furious and beat Milton up, which he deserved. Mike passed Milton the poison bandage without him realizing it, and a few minutes later, Milton was dead. Even though Big Ray knew the truth, he was still angry because Mike had destroyed the assassin organization that he had built over years. In the end, he let Mike go but cut all ties with him. And that's how the movie ends.